Hello and welcome to another episode of Gig and Tell podcast. I'm Tash.
I'm Phil.
And today we thought we'd talk about the different cities we've been to before for gigs because we've been to a few different ones.
Quite a few. Yeah.
Quite a
There's
few.
A bit of a list.
Don't get me wrong, I feel like it's mainly Birmingham, but we do sometimes travel out of our local hometown. So we thought that we'd just discuss the different ones we'd been to, our thoughts and opinions on them, what we prefer, what we didn't like as much, and all that kind of things. So let's start. Do you want to start with Birmingham? Because
Birmingham's the local one. It's the one we've been to the most. And it's probably the one I wish I'd been to the least, to be quite honest.
I feel like our friendship group really bashes on Birmingham, and I kind of get it, but I do think that there's a lot of conveniences to it too. Like the local trains are really good, buses even if you needed to get there desperately on a bus for cheaper. There's loads around. It's a city that you've always got other things to do, and like things are always open late. Like you can get food and things like that. But yeah, I find that the crowds in Birmingham aren't quite.
They're just less of a vibe.
Yeah, they're not as hyped.
No, yeah, there's a lack of enthusiasm for sure. But I do think Birmingham's very good for the range of venues. Small venues, big venues. Loads. There's so many. I think it's so sad that so many bands are missing Birmingham now.
A lot of bands have started skipping out on Birmingham. When we're going to see All Time Low this month,
nothing.
Nothing
they used to. I've been reading a lot about it. There used to be bands that would tour, and it would be even the small bands would do like weeks and weeks of small venues all over the place. And now it feels lucky if you get 4 or 5 dates.
Yeah.
And a lot of them now aren't, including Birmingham as well. And the Midlands is seeming to get skipped entirely.
Yeah. I feel like the ones that people always go for are Liverpool and Manchester and London.
Yeah.
And then like Cardiff or Glasgow. Glasgow is one that's usually on there as well.
Yeah,
I'd say.
like either Glasgow or Edinburgh.
Yeah. Definitely always Manchester and London. Yeah. I would be surprised if anyone did a tour in the UK and skipped those two.
Yeah.
They're like ones, absolute must.
The ones I feel real bad for are like the south. I'm not talking south as in London because so many people are just like, oh, down south in London. No, south. Cornwall, Plymouth area. Like Southampton, all down the bottom.
Cornwall does have Boardmasters though, which is like...
That's true. There you get all the bands in one go instead.
Yeah.
There was another one down there, down in Southampton that we were going to go to. I can't remember what it was called, but it just was so pricey that we were like, maybe we'll do that when we've got the van to camp in.
Nice.
Because they had quite a good lineup, but yeah, I do feel bad for the ones down south. And there's so many artists now that are only doing London.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam said to me for ages that he would absolutely love to see Bruno Mars, and he's like an artist that like if he comes round, he really wants to see him. That is a random one. He just thinks he'd put on such a good show.
I get that.
He's doing 2 dates at Wembley.
Exactly. And Harry Styles, I don't think he
did loads.
Did Birmingham.
He did Coventry.
Oh, okay.
Was his Midlands one.
Okay.
But a lot of people said it wasn't very good in Coventry.
Oh, why?
I don't know. Something went down in Coventry that everyone had an awful time. That I've spoke to anyway. Everyone's been like, no, Wembley was so much better than Coventry. Which Wembley's going to be better than Coventry.
We had a great time in Wembley, even being far away. Like
yeah, we were in the restricted view seats.
Yeah, but they weren't that restricted view. I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. You couldn't see Harry Styles in full high definition, but like
you couldn't see the stage. The stage is restricted.
Yeah.
But how often? Like, how much time was he actually on, like, the main stage? He was on the runway.
I think that you could see him in the middle of the stage. It's just when he was at a
Yeah, it's the very back. Like, you couldn't see the musicians that he'd got.
No, you couldn't see
if it was a band that you were seeing, like, when we saw AC/DC from those seats, you could only see you couldn't see anything behind them. I think occasionally you could see a bit of the bell coming out of the front of the stage, but, like, it wasn't a very good view for a band. But for just Harry Styles, if you're not interested in seeing what's going on that main bit of stage, he's usually on the runway anyway.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time on the runway. And also, we were there just vibing, to be honest. I don't really watch the stage, all that.
I don't really know half the songs.
I was enjoying...
I was just having a good time.
I love Harry Styles. I don't know all of his music, don't get me wrong, but I do really like him. But I was enjoying watching the crowd.
Now. I know a lot more now, but yeah, I was having a great time watching, like, during, like, Satellite and stuff.
It was
watching
so
everyone
lovely.
down the bottom was so fun. Like, it was kind of nice to have that view and be able to see everyone, because I'm very guilty, especially in stadiums, for having a bit of a panic when I'm in the main crowd. Like, I don't know what it is. It's only when I think about it, because I'm literally fine until I think about it.
And then you think about the mass amount of people and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I remember seeing Foo Fighters the first time that I saw them. I can't remember what the stadium was called. I never can. And we got in, considering how late we actually got there, we got in and we got pretty close without any kind of having to push through. We just naturally kind of got quite close. And I was fine, completely fine, not a care in the world, other than the fact it was 30 odd degrees and we were in an open top stadium and I was dying.
Yeah.
But I was fine. And then I just heard someone say, "Oh my God, look at the amount of people behind us now." And I turned around and I was like, ooh, yeah. I'm a little bit dizzy. And I had to step out for a second, and then I just came back in before Foo Fighters came on. I just chilled at the back for the support acts, and then I came back in and found the group.
But, bless you.
I don't know where I was even going with
We
that.
got a bit off topic. We've reviewed Harry Styles and reviewed the Foo Fighters. Well, we didn't really review Foo Fighters, but cities.
It was a vibe anyway. I think this is where I was going with it.
Yeah.
Like, I've not been to, like, I mean, it wasn't Wembley for Foo Fighters, but, like, the stadiums in London, I think because they're the main ones, and people fly from all over the place for Wembley as well. Like, people will fly from Europe and come to a Wembley show. I've known people fly from the States for a Wembley show. And, like, the vibe, especially for stadium shows, because you know everyone is there because this is going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show at a stadium. It's never going to be subpar because they wouldn't be selling out stadiums.
No, yeah.
And the vibe is just always so immaculate. And I think especially because London is one of the main ones, as much as I hate getting around London and London stresses me out, the vibes at a gig there.
The crowd, the crowd and the performance that artists put on when they're in London is next level.
Yeah. Like, it's the capital city, it's going to be.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It just
I feel special
compare.
London gigs. I really do feel special. I don't think that the streets of London are all that nice. I think they're actually quite run down in a lot of places.
It just depends on where you are. They have, like, the main streets that are fine.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get even slightly to a side street, it's like, I'm a bit on edge.
Yeah, it's a bit sketchy.
Yeah.
But I don't mind London in terms of I enjoy the gigs there, but just from where we are, it's a bit expensive to get there.
It's so expensive.
We have to stay over. We couldn't come back the same night.
Yeah, like we have done.
Have we?
We have done, because we AC/DC, we didn't stay over, but we've only done that when Dad's drove.
Yeah.
And he is a driver, so he will do it.
Yeah.
But whenever I've been with anyone else, we've stayed over.
Yeah.
It's only when Dad's drove, and I think My Chemical Romance, it wasn't quite London, it was Milton Keynes. But again, he just drove straight back from that.
Yeah.
I know there are plenty of people that do it, but
yeah.
I could with somewhere like Nottingham. I could with Bristol. I've done it with Bristol before. London just is such a nightmare to get out of.
London gigs, I always feel like I want to get to the gig and get back. Whereas when we go places such as Nottingham or Manchester, I feel like, yes, I want to go out for a meal first, or like have a little walk around. The next day you can go shopping. I don't feel that kind of way inclined about London. It feels like a lot more hectic, and it's like I just want to get to A to B and then go home.
I think my favourite UK city that I've travelled to for a gig was Liverpool. Liverpool was a lot like that.
Okay.
Like we had some excellent food while we were there. There's so much to do. It's a nice vibe. Like, Liverpool's one of the few cities that I would go to see a gig or whatever, and I would want to go out afterwards. Like, everywhere has live music on, like, everywhere's just a nice vibe. I don't feel like on edge walking around there.
Yeah.
There's like a whole street of just bars, which are much more my kind of thing. They're not clubs, they're bars.
Yeah.
They have live music on. They have people milling around just having a drink. It's not rammed, and it's nice.
Yeah.
I feel like the one that would be absolutely rammed would be the Cavern Club, because that's where everyone will go. That's the tourist attraction. You're not going for the band at the Cavern Club, you're going for the Cavern Club.
Yeah.
But we went and we had some food and we went to the show, and we did end up just going back to the hotel that night because there was only the two of us. So, like, what are you really going to do?
Yeah.
But, like, the next morning, we went to the docks and got the fresh croissants. Oh, my God, the fresh croissants on the docks.
Phil will not stop talking about these
You've
croissants.
got to try the fresh croissants on the docks, man. They're incredible. And then we did, like...
Are they big?
They're huge. They're huge. And when I say they're fresh, like, you literally just watch them get cooked in front of you, and they're, like, so good. And then we went round the... Beatles Museum afterwards, because that was something Adam really wanted to do. And it was just a friendly vibe. I mean, we went at an awful time, because this is another reason we went straight back to the hotel, was because we had limited parking, because the weekend of the gig that I went to, there was also Comic-Con. There was a massive football game. I think Villa were playing at Anfield. And it was like a really big game of the season. I don't know the details, but it was a big game.
Right.
And I think there was something else going on as well. Like, there were 3 big things going on in the city, and I was just there to see Brad Simpson. And I was like, oh my God, this has cost a bomb now. And we ended up having to get a hotel by the airport and drive into Liverpool, because they were all sold out, because we didn't realise, because we'd booked for Brad, not for Comic-Con, which we didn't realise was on. We were like, oh, all the hotels are sold out.
That's tragic.
Or they're, like, so expensive, it's not worth it. I want to go to Liverpool in a group. And, experience it properly. And I want, because the other food that I don't shop about, it was Maggie Foo. I want you guys to try Maggie Foo, because it is exactly yours and Harrison's type of food.
By foo, I presume Chinesey.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's Asian food, yeah. Spicy Asian
that
food.
sounds delicious. We'll have to make a trip to Liverpool then, because
really
I've been to Liverpool to see Taylor Swift, but we didn't go around Liverpool at all. We tried to get food beforehand. Most places were shut. I don't think we were in the city of Liverpool. I think we must have been on some sort of outskirts, because there was, like, nothing going on. It was chucking it down with rain. The only place we could get in to eat was Spoons.
Yeah.
Also, if you're looking at me today and thinking, why are you talking with a lisp? I've got ulcers really bad. I didn't
even need to question it. I'm so used to you.
I can hear myself so bad with my lisp, but I've just got an ulcer on my tongue, which is making it hard to speak. We went to Liverpool. The only place we could eat was Wetherspoons. Like, there was nothing around. So, and it was chucking it down with rain, and it was chucking it down with the rain the next day afterwards as well. So we literally just was like, venue and back, other than the Spoons, because we needed food before we went. Other than that, we literally just drove back.
Yeah, I mean, really we were spoilt for food choices. I can't remember where we actually ended up eating before the gig, because we tried Maggie Foo before the gig, but it was like, you need to pre-book a table, because it was like a very long wait time, and we were like, we don't have time before the show. I don't know if we ended up just getting a Mackey's or something. We then booked it for lunch the next day before we came home. Yeah, Liverpool, favourite UK city.
Yes, we need to round that one up there.
It's so good.
I definitely want to do it better. I hear good things about it, I really do, but I just haven't really properly experienced it.
So what's your favourite city that you've seen gigs at then?
I think it's really hard to distinguish favourite city in comparison to favourite gig, because I have a favourite city for a gig in terms of the crowd at the gig, but my actual favourite city to visit around it would be different. So my favourite city for the gig was Cardiff, when I went to see Bring Me the Horizon, because the crowd there, I saw Bring Me the Horizon the year before, and I think the year after, both in Birmingham, and I don't know why we didn't do I don't know why we didn't do Birmingham the year that we did Cardiff, but when we went to Cardiff, the crowd was 1,000 times more enthusiastic than in Birmingham. I can't even tell you. We started off pretty close to the front at Bring Me the Horizon, and when I tell you, we ended up the second they came on. I've never, and I can't even explain it. I've never been pushed as much in my entire life. We were here, they came on, and we literally went right to the back. We were like 5 rows like from the back, but it's not because we were the only one that moved. Literally, we were treading on each other's feet, falling backwards on the people behind us. We were all pressed against each other like that, using each other to keep ourselves up. Like, you couldn't physically stand on your own 2 feet. You were using other people's bodies to stay afloat, because it literally came out of nowhere. It was a sea of people, and there was just mass room in the middle where everyone just like... But I'm not even joking you, that crowd went off big time. Harrison was terrified because he came with me and my friend, who is very, very tiny. And he was like, I thought someone was going to break her. Like, her or you, because I'm small too, but not as small as my friend.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was terrified. I was just watching you two. So he didn't have the best time because he felt like he kind of had to be our guardian and make sure we didn't get crushed to death. But, oh my God, the crowd was immense.
Yeah.
So in terms of gigs, going to Cardiff, 100% recommend. Whether that's the same for other people. To be fair, we saw, did you say Avril in Cardiff? But that was completely different vibe. It wasn't in a venue, it was outdoors. It was
outdoor
at Cardiff
shows
Castle.
are different. I was about to say this about Sheffield because I saw Arctic Monkeys in Sheffield, which is the biggest Arctic Monkey show because it's their hometown. They did multiple dates in Sheffield.
Nice.
But I don't think I could say much about the crowd. Again, it's completely different because it's outdoor. It's very different kind of music for me. Like, the crowds at Arctic Monkeys aren't like the crowds of the gigs I'm used to. It's a different breed. But I also was having issues with my chest that day and my breathing, so I kind of was a bit out of it. Yeah, like, I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd because I had to get out of the crowd.
Yeah.
And I ended up just kind of chilling at the back of the field, and I was like, I can't breathe. Which is my only downside with travelling to shows, is travelling does affect my chest, so it could be hit and miss as to whether I can then enjoy the show or not.
Do you take your inhaler?
I sometimes remember to. I currently don't have one.
Oh, okay. Fair.
But it doesn't really help when it goes that bad.
Yeah.
It just doesn't help. So it kind of is just a game of waiting it out then. But especially because that one we were travelling straight home. I was so bad by the end of the night because I travelled there, stood through a gig in a field with hay fever, and travelled back, and I was like, I'm good. This is it. I'm gonna die tonight. So I can't really judge that one. And we didn't really do anything. Like, we didn't. By the time we got there, we were so late. We literally ordered a Domino's to a street corner and stood on the street eating it, and then went into the field, into the park to watch the show.
I would like to just touch on the fact that when I was talking about Cardiff and Bring Me, that crowd in Cardiff, insane. I can't say that it would be the same if you went and saw someone that wasn't like I don't know what genre they are, but pop punk, whatever. I don't
Rock,
know.
metal,
Rock
vibe.
Yeah, if it was a different artist, I can't say the crowd would be the same, but the enthusiasm they had in comparison, like in Birmingham, when I've seen them both times in Birmingham, 2 or 3 times in Birmingham, I can't remember exactly, but we've had room around us like to dance and stuff, and like everyone's just been kind of like this.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but like nowhere near the enthusiasm of Cardiff crowd. To be fair, we did go out in Cardiff as well.
I don't know if this is picking up on the microphones. If it is my cat playing with a toy with a bell on it. So I am very sorry, but if I take it off him, he'll be very upset.
We did go out in Cardiff City afterwards as well, and the club was quite nice. I enjoyed the clubs, and the nightlife and the people. The people were really friendly. People were talking to you, and they seemed like really decent people.
That's exactly what Liverpool was like as well.
Yeah.
Like, people would approach you and speak to you, whereas...
But not over the
get
top.
that.
Usually I hate it when people come and speak to me because you're like, what are your intentions? But they were just like really friendly, like, oh, you look really nice, or like, you know, like some just nice, friendly people.
We had like people approaching us in Liverpool asking if we were lost, if we needed directions, because we'd found the one spot in Liverpool with some signal. So we stopped to reply to messages and stuff, and people were asking if we were lost and if we needed directions to Comic Con.
Oh, bless.
And we were like, we're not here for Comic Con. We were like, no, we're on Tesco Mobile, so.
I know, it's a tragic life, it really is. The elder people of Cardiff, even though the vibes of like the places are nice inside, when we were walking on the streets, my God, there were heathens, like pissing up taxis and like drunk, homeless, shirtless weirdos. Honestly, some right riffraff. And like Harrison was like, let's get it back. But inside the bars and stuff where all the young people were, I don't want to stereotype it to the young people, but the people that were on our level were great inside the bars and the clubs. They were nice, but walking between the streets was questionable.
Yeah. I find it really hard now. I feel like, I mean, even just thinking about each of these cities, I feel like a lot of the shows that I've been to, especially since COVID, there's always someone kicking off. Like, Liverpool was a great city, but you're telling me I went to a Brad Simpson show and a fight broke out?
Yeah, that's wild. What? That is wild.
What do you mean? It was ridiculous. Like, the show was great, but there was a bit of something went on, because it was at the Arts Club, which has, like, quite a small main floor at the bottom and then steps, and you can stand on the steps.
Okay.
So I had a good view as well, because I was up on the steps, so I could see over everyone in front of me. But it's all steps, and they're wide. Okay. It did stress me out a little bit, because I felt like someone was going to go falling down, but...
I like that.
Yeah, it was really nice, but it meant that, like, when it was kicking off in the crowd, I could see it.
It meant you could not see it. Bring Me the Horizon concert. That is what it meant.
Yeah. And I think there was another one as well. I mean, Manchester was probably the best vibe crowd.
Yes.
For me, when we saw the Vamps in Manchester, we went to multiple shows in multiple cities on that tour, and the Manchester one was probably the best vibe. But I remember going on Twitter afterwards, and everyone was talking about this one girl that had gone that was clearly very ill, could not stop throwing up, and refused to leave. Why would you even try if you're that ill, personally?
That's just very rude.
I just feel like there's always someone at each show, and it's just luck of the draw as to whether you experience them or not. Like, the woman that we had in front of us at Avril Lavigne in Cardiff, when everyone cheered when they took her away because she was annoying everyone, starting fights.
She was so next drunk, level off her face.
Like. So drunk. And it's just luck of the draw as to whether you're in that part of the crowd with that person or not.
That's the thing. I feel like you can't judge every city on, like, a show or whatever.
And everywhere will have one person. Every city will have one person.
It depends where you are in the crowd as to who's around you. It depends if you're standing or if you're sitting or if you're outdoors or if you're indoors. It can really change the whole experience.
And how much the person next to you has drank.
And how much they've drank, yeah, that's very true. Because I mean, look at Katy Perry.
Yeah,
honestly, and that
Katy Perry was wild.
That was a Birmingham gig as well, which we don't rate too highly anyway. But Jesus Christ, the people around us were very interesting people. I will say, when I said that I feel like there's a difference between my favourite city to go to for like to travel and see a concert, or in comparison to the crowd at the concert is. You're gonna laugh so hard when I say this out loud. So my favourite gig in terms of city for a gig was Cardiff. My favourite city to go to that we went to for a gig was Amsterdam. Now, the concert itself...
Yeah, Amsterdam, I would go for Amsterdam to see Amsterdam. We saw lots of museums.
I'd go to a gig again.
I wouldn't go to a gig in Amsterdam again. At least not one... I just don't think I'd go to a gig in Amsterdam again, but that was me personally and my own issues.
Yeah.
But the venue was kind of shambles there.
That venue in particular had some issues from, like, everyone was complaining after that gig.
Yeah, like they weren't paying attention to who was on what level, because they had the bottom floor, like the stand-in, and then there was 2 balconies, and they weren't paying attention to who was going into what area, so you ended up with people, like, everyone was on the floor, and there weren't many people actually on the balconies where they were supposed to be, so the floor was rammed, like there was no extra room, even right at the back, you were sardines. So the venue itself wasn't great, but I think for me, because Amsterdam is the place that people obviously go to do the things they can't do anywhere else, the actual crowd especially for the kind of band that we went for, maybe they're not used to smoking certain things, and it just, I've never seen security have to chuck so many people out in my life. And when they did, like, because there was someone right behind us that got chucked out, and the way that he just pushed through everyone so aggressively. He was, like,
knocking people over. Like, and we were all, like, it's a Vamps crowd, we were all, like, little girls.
Yeah, like, I've never seen anything like it. So for me personally, I wouldn't go to a gig there again. But I also just think it is one of those things where I've seen Amsterdam now, there's nothing else I wouldn't necessarily go back for, so I would see a band in another city I would like to see.
Fair enough. My perspective with Amsterdam was, even though our gig experience there wasn't the best, I would go back and try it again, because I don't think that the things that were not so good at the gig for me weren't things that I think would necessarily happen again. I think that is circumstantial. It's not like something happened that I was like, it's this venue, like you were saying. But
it happens. It's one of the things I stress about anyway, because we essentially got completely thrown up on, and that is like a phobia for me. I can't be around it, so it ruined my entire night. But it happens everywhere. I remember leaving a show at the O2 Academy, which we go to all the time, and the back was just sick. And it wasn't even the kind of band, I can't remember who it was now, but it wasn't even the kind of band that you'd expect. Like, because I remember seeing Bullet for My Valentine there, and people being carried out of the mosh pit that were like covered in blood, covered in sick, covered in all of the bodily fluids you could imagine. But this, I don't know if it was like, it wasn't Big Time Rush because we were at the back for them anyway, but it was someone like that. Like, I don't know if it was like McFly or something, but it was a band like that, some kind of boy bandy band. And I remember leaving and going to the doors and then redirecting everyone to the other doors, which I'd never see them open because there was sick everywhere.
It might have been McFly.
Yeah. So it can happen anywhere. But I just feel like the chances in Amsterdam are so much higher because of the nature of the city.
Yeah, they can take substances that people maybe wouldn't be used to. And I do understand that, but the nightlife, I felt so happy. And again, you had a very different experience to me, but I felt so happy in the nightlife. But we're very different people. Like, I would go to a gig in a city and then be like, let's go out after. You are less likely to do that anyway.
Yeah, this is what I mean about Liverpool, though, because it's not clubs. There are clubs there.
Well, this is what I was about to say. The jazz bars and like the vibes of the bars in Amsterdam seemed so good. Like, I would want to go back there. I would want to go back there and properly do the like bars and stuff. And I didn't feel unsafe in Amsterdam. I felt like everyone was just there to do their own thing.
I didn't feel unsafe. Absolute props as well to the guy in the jazz club. That heard us. Oh, it was the most ridiculous situation in the world. Where we'd gone to the toilet and you came out?
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh no, don't touch me," just because there was no soap in the toilet. So she was like, "Don't touch me," because I haven't been able to wash my hands. And this guy had just heard her say, "Don't touch me," and he came out and he was like, "Is there a problem?"
Yeah,
like
he immediately came out the door and was
to
like,
see if
"What's
there
going
was an
on?"
issue and if he could help. And you were like, "Oh no, I was just saying don't touch me because there's no soap in the toilet, so I haven't been able to wash my hands." And he immediately just went and got soap and took it. And like, I was like, fair play to that, because the amount of people that would hear any amount of conflict and just shy away from it.
Yeah.
And he was there, and like, he was one of the staff.
Yeah, but he was fully like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
Like, he was there to protect.
It was nice to know that if there was an issue, they'd have been there and they'd have been trying to sort it.
100%. And I just got those good vibes in Amsterdam. Like, I felt like everyone was there to do their own thing and have a good time. And I didn't at any point feel like unsafe. Even when we had people talking to us when that guy was trying to chat up our friend, I thought, like, I didn't feel unsafe. I just felt like,
just don't
F off.
Yeah, just get lost. That's not what we're here for.
But, like, he didn't make me feel like we were unsafe. It was just a bit of an inconvenience. But I would like to go back to Amsterdam as a city and do a gig and do the bars and stuff again and just go for a couple of days just to properly experience the nightlife of it around it and go to, like, because it's not just the concerts, it's like they have a lot of music bars where I feel like you can go and watch live music and stuff, which I would really love to go and experience again, and I felt really happy in Amsterdam. So I'd want to go back and do that again, to be honest. So in terms of the city, Amsterdam's really up there for me.
Yeah.
But in terms of the gig, Cardiff was my favourite.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on my favourites.
Yeah. So, yeah, I totally agree. I think the vibe in Amsterdam is nice. I just think I just personally wouldn't do a gig there again.
Okay. Each to their own.
But I would recommend Amsterdam as a city. It's a lovely place to go. You don't have to be interested in the smoking aspect. We didn't do any of that. Although the one cafe we did go into because other people in the group wanted to, they did do the best nachos. So
oh my god, the best nachos ever! I want to go back just for those.
Just for those nachos, they were so good.
And the thing is, I feel like you can't always take that, like, you can't take anything with confidence from people that have been to Amsterdam into a bar where that kind of thing goes on, because obviously food and snacks are going to taste amazing when you've been doing that kind of thing, but we weren't doing that kind of thing, and it was amazing. So honestly, 10/10 recommend.
Props to the nachos.
Props to those nachos. Bro. I think about them often.
Yeah, I was stressed out of my mind being in there because I was waiting. Like, being in a room full of smoke is not good for me. I've established in this episode I have a very temperamental chest, very temperamental breathing capacity. So being in a room full of smoke, I was a bit stressed, but my god, those nachos were worth it.
Yeah, those nachos were so good. And the vibes, like, again, everyone just keeps themselves to themselves. Everyone's there to do their own thing. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. I would really recommend Amsterdam.
Yeah, definitely.
One that I felt less comfortable in was Barcelona. When we went to Barcelona for the gigs, I felt like, I don't know if it's because we were in a foreign country where English wasn't the first language. I mean, is Amsterdam technically Dutch speaking as a first language? Everyone spoke English.
The Netherlands as a whole, if you went other places in the Netherlands, I think they, for the most part, will have an understanding of English, but Amsterdam is much more, because it's such a touristy attraction.
English spoken.
Like, it's going to be very English spoken. And to be fair, I was told it would be that way in Barcelona, but we struggled. I don't know if it was the nature of the places we went, but we really struggled, like, communicating, because one of the friends we were with had a really bad nut allergy, and just trying to express that, like...
And one of the people we went with speaks Spanish.
Yeah, like...
And the guy still wasn't understanding.
He still couldn't get it, so... Yeah, we did struggle a bit more in Barcelona with that, but I didn't feel unsafe. I just found it more difficult to navigate.
It was probably everyone else's doing, because everyone had told me to be really wary because of pickpocketing and stuff in Barcelona. They were like, it's rife for that kind of thing. So when we were...
is Birmingham, so is London.
Yeah, when we were walking around, I was a bit self-conscious, and I think that maybe it's because we were in another country that felt a little bit more outlandish and stuff.
It was our first trip abroad as well.
It's true.
Neither of us had been abroad, so I do think that played a part in that.
Yeah.
Because we'd literally never done it.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to give Manchester a big shout out because I feel like we started on it and really briefly, we had to jump off it. But Manchester was such a good one. It has so much around. The crowd vibes are immaculate. Everyone's on a high, like a hype. And there's so much to do around it. Loads of lovely food places. Neon lights get me, and there's like loads of neon and stuff around there. I really liked Manchester. And again, Nottingham. Again, I felt very safe in Nottingham. The gig itself wasn't as good because we were seated, so the vibes weren't quite as there. We still bought the vibes, but it didn't feel the same as Manchester. Yeah. Manchester was like next level, really good.
And big shout out to Bristol for me, because I love Bristol.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to say much on the vibes because we saw a band at the Fleece, but it's a very different band to what I would usually see. So again, I wouldn't really compare the crowd to anything else, because it's the Brothers Landreth is nothing like the other gigs that I would see there. So, but Bristol as a city, I'll go to anyway.
I would like to go to a gig in Bristol because I've seen theatre in Bristol and love the city of Bristol. Like, I would move to Bristol. I love Bristol so much.
It's one of
I
the
think
few
it's
places
so
I would move to.
Lovely. Yeah. Pub vibes. That's how I'd explain Bristol. If you're going to go, expect cosy pub vibes, having a pint, going for a stroll, and like then going to your gig and stuff. Everywhere. Not as party. Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. I mean, you can still party.
It can be.
But I like it as like a chill city to have a little mooch around. Really good.
In the summer, the tables outside on the cobblestone streets to have a drink. Oh, incredible.
Gorgeous. Stunning. I would really like to do a city break for a gig over there for sure.
Yeah, it's good down in Bristol.
Did we miss anything off?
I don't think so. That is, even if we only touched on them briefly, that is all of the ones that we've touched there.
Perfect. So what was your favourite?
As a city, Liverpool.
Okay.
For the show and the vibes, Manchester.
Fair. Interesting that we've got very different favourites, even though we've been to them.
Want to see Dublin. Everyone says the vibes in Dublin.
We're going to do an episode around bucket lists, aren't we? But Dublin is on there for me.
Definitely.
For sure. I want to do that soon.
Yeah.
Definitely. We're going to end this episode here then, guys, so thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment below you guys' favourite cities of places that you've been, or your bucket list of places you want to go, or if you have any questions about anything that we've already mentioned, then feel free to drop them below as well. Yeah, we really appreciate all your support and you watching, and we'll see you next Thursday with another video.